When it first happened, tell you the truth, I didn't know what I was going to do.
What happens when the library is closed? What happens when certain services aren't available and people feel more isolated? The world was stopped in some ways, but also accelerating and moving faster in other ways. On the one hand, it was really good that our economy still kept moving and going in the right direction and projects were still happening. On the other hand, I think the biggest challenge was balancing that with everything that was going on and trying to find a happy medium.
From our perspective, we've seen a tremendous boom in business. We make lumber and we also sell building materials. So as people shifted their budgets away from vacationing and other activities, they've shifted it to building. And so we've spent 18 months inundated with an explosion of business. But there's always this trying to remember what it felt like before this period. So trying to maintain some idea of where we're going to be next year, and it's not going to be like it is now, or we don't expect it to be like it is now. So how do we serve the customers that are here now? How do we serve them, but also look forward to when that business will disappear or slow down?
For us as a school, resiliency has meant being able to provide for kids the support that they need, not just academically, but socially, emotionally, which again, we always do, but I think that COVID has really forced us to look at that more deeply than normal and just ensure that we are kind of putting a safety net around our kids so they can be resilient and feel safe, because I think safety is a big part of resiliency, and assuring parents that we are taking care of their kids and giving them what they need, not just academically.
I want the students involved here. There is a place for our students. This is really live learning. So they help not only to stand it up, but to staff it and give vaccinations. I got my second vax shot from one of my nursing students. I mean, you can't make this up.
For us to continue to be a resilient community and build strength, we have to be able to start at that foundational level and make sure that people are happy and healthy. And if we provide them the opportunity to say at the beginning, I'm walking in this door with these supports, and I know that you guys will support me in keeping them and keeping myself healthy, not just physically, then I think you'll have more resilient people everywhere.
We formed a group called the AVC19 group. We were a COVID group, a bunch of community stakeholders, leaders. We had a place to all talk, know what each other was going through, help each other. We all had a connection for something. I called it my lifeline.
The community just banded together in such an organic way. Everyone felt like they had a stake in it. They felt like they had a part in it.
I've been in the community for, well over 20 years and have done things like this a lot. To me, it's that feeling of normalcy and that comfort of our community is still here, getting together. And then it's the exciting bit of new faces. What's changed in the last 5 years are the number of individuals choosing this region or staying in this region.
When I think back on sort of, the pandemic, when it first hit and things were really in lockdown, the benefit that we had here in New Hampshire, in northern New Hampshire, in these rural communities, people looked out for one another. And I think that was true in terms of business to business. I think it was true neighbor to neighbor.
We wanted to do something that featured local artists, benefited local businesses, featured local music, local everything. It's just the name of the game.
I think it's very important to come together for stuff like this. I'd love to see more of these spread throughout the North Countries. You know, people put hard work into the stuff they're selling, and to be able to have people come out and appreciate that work is amazing.
100% shop local. It helps so many families. Anything that you can buy local from a farm or from an artist, I absolutely recommend.
I wasn't much of a local shopper before I started my own business, and I really think it opened a lot of eyes to see we're going through all these economic downfalls, and to support your neighbors is huge.
In the North Country, we come together and figure things out. And I think that's what this conversation can and should be about is, okay, we figured out crazier things. Sure, we're in a pandemic, but we have figured things out, done more with less in the North Country. We typically have less in the way of financial resources, but as far as human resources, we just have the ingenuity and innovation, the North Country mindset. So I'm overly optimistic. Right?